Good evening. It is that point in the generation where it makes total sense for me to finally go out of my way to make a midterm report on what has been going on in this generation since we started here. Let's get started. Let's get right into things. Got a lot to talk about. So as a lot of people here in Lynn happen to know, Royameadow Generation 3 began on October 2 of 2012, marking the 13th anniversary of Royameadow Generation 1's original inception on October 2 of 1999. Since then, we have had at least 2,787 members, both locally and internationally alike, become a part of the Royan scene, whether they are doing work on material, or if they are doing stuff offline, or even if they are just simply communicating on a standard level, aka they are standard members. Generation 3 has had the most standard members in the history of this team. That means that there are less people actually working on material for their own respective divisions and affiliates of this group in comparison to Generation 1, in which most of our material was done offline in Boston, sometimes with major groups. And as opposed to Generation 2, who most of our affiliates happen to work on material online, as opposed to offline. Generation 3 is more of a slight balance to imbalance because of that. And unfortunately, that means that our productivity levels have gone down and just down and just down in the past 3 years, especially in 2015 and 16. Or at least the first 4 months of 16. We have seen some people get back in the zone in Gen 3. We have seen some content creators from 2012 and 13 starting to come back, as well as those that were in college as a part of the classes of 2009 to 2012 that finally just got out. Those people from Generations 1 and 2 are returning in small yet significantly notable numbers. You'll be seeing material from them later this year and going into the 2017-18 season. In my case, you have seen a good amount of material from me over the years. The majority of the material on this channel was made by me or presented by me. I cannot stress enough that this channel is a part of every single member. I do not deserve to be the only person working on material full time. I personally do feel that the work needs to be divided up, and that is why things must change in the way that our production standards happen to become. So this is how it will be beyond this point. Commentaries, video game commentaries that are multi-part, will be uploaded in bulk sets, similar as to how I did with Super Mario USA 2 and Super Mario Bros. 2. Those will be uploaded as quickly as probable in their bulk sets, so that I do not have to constantly space them out across many separate days, or many separate weeks. I personally feel that will allow for me to remember to actually get out material as early as probable, and also so that the rest of us can have our own work available on respective days, especially members that are returning to the scene from being in college or from being in work that they didn't want to be a part of. The yellow collar industry truly deserves to have more, how can I put it? It deserves to have more respect than it does, and that is indeed what I intend to deliver to my members now, more than I have ever done in past time. At the same time, I am working right now on a content development kit, an update to the 2012 and 13 content development kit that I think I released either early in 14 or late in 14. It will have a whole bunch of new logos, as well as new wallpapers, splash screens, viewer discretion advisories, as well as a whole lot of codecs and utilities that can come in handy massively for those that want to work on material. I want to stress this out to any member of Royameadow and Company that will be downloading the pack upon its release. If you are to work with some of these wallpapers, especially ones that happen to have your logo down in the lower left or right corner of the screen, you will be in need of a video editing software in order to work on that. We will not supply that for you, unfortunately, unless if I ever come out with my own open source video editor that can compete well with Sony Vegas. Oh my goodness. But yes, you will need Sony Vegas 13 or Adobe Premiere Creative Suite 6 version if you want to work with some of my material, or at least some of the templates that I have made, amongst a whole bunch of other things. You will also see that there is a lot of music and vocal cues. I have decided to make it available to the entirety of my team. Any works I have made up to now in terms of music will be available in that content development kit. You'll be able to listen to that freely without error. Feel free to share it around if you like. Just make sure to credit either Roya Rockwood or Royameadow as a group, and we will not have a problem. Our sports division. Our sports division has had a major dynamic change in recent time. We have seen many people go into the college, minor league, and major league teams. Some of them as athletes, some of them as commentators, some of them as correspondents or analysts, some as doctors, and also writers. We have 4 major notables out of the men's side of our team. It's all from Generation 2 that have gone into either major college leagues, minor leagues, or major leagues for respective sports teams. For example, my good friend and fellow Royameadow Generation 2 Honor 4 Variety member Jake Meager. I've known him since 2009, and I am glad to say that he is writing for men's hockey articles as a part as a part of the Harvard Crimson Sports Board. You'll be able to get good stories from him involving the Harvard Crimson hockey team on the men's division side. I'm more than positive that Jake is doing an extremely good job at this time, and I hope that he is doing the greatest that he can and beyond. I've not a doubt in my mind that he is doing things for the best of not just his career, but for all of Harvard and all of us, not just as a team, but as a whole, as a world and existence in the modern community. One of my good friends, Kyle Devon. He's a part of the North Shore Navigators now. Lovely pitcher and lovely hitter. My goodness, he has had some of the greatest experience in, can I say it's minor league baseball? I will be truthful. Whenever it came to baseball, I never really followed the minor leagues as much. But with Kyle as a part of the Navigators, I do believe that we will probably be going to Fraser Field and possibly talking about him more as we go through the times. I'm more than positive that he will indeed have a very lovely career. I've not a doubt in my mind that things will go extremely well for him. And I indeed wish him the best at this point. It can only get better from here. That is indeed a guarantee. One of my arts members, turned variety member, Matt Demers in Generation 2, Mid-Generation 2. He ended up becoming a part of the WNBA's Chicago Sky. I'm not exactly sure what part of the team he is a part of. Whether he is, I guess, maybe a part of discussion, maybe a part of promotion, I cannot say at this time. I found out today. But it is indeed good to see that we have people, we have some of our people within the WNBA now. And the WNBA, if my memory serves correctly, has been around since 1996. I have been following them, I think, since 1999, early 2000. It is indeed clear that women's sports is on the rise, and it is only getting better and better beyond this point. I truly do hope that Matt is indeed doing a good job where he is. I'm sure that he does a good job. He's always done a good job with whatever he has done up to now. Whether it is involving sports, whether it is involving his time on the stage in the theater, in Mr. Lowe's theater. There is nothing that this guy can't do. And I truly do hope that the best of times are yet to come. It can only improve from here. And I really do hope that his dedication to the Chicago Sky does an extremely good job for women's basketball as we go into the next 20, 30 years. I could only imagine what to expect. Lastly, we had the Major League Baseball draft for the 2016-17 season. Or is it just the 2016 season? But in the 2016 Major League Baseball draft, in day 2, pick number 45 is one of our notables from the Athletics division, Ben Bowden. I've known Ben Bowden roughly as long as I have known Jake, so I would say circa September, October of 2009. If my memory serves correctly, I think he was in football in my time, but I knew that he had some history in baseball as well. He ended up getting drafted into the Colorado Rockies. To my knowledge, this makes Ben the first member out of anybody in Royameadow and Company, whether it be Generation 1, 2, or 3, in this case Generation 2, to be a part of a major league sport. This is indeed a major positive, and I am extremely glad. I am extremely glad that this is finally coming to reality. This also marks the first instance where a member from our team will end up on a licensed sports game. In this case, it probably will be Sony Computer Entertainment's MLB The Show. Presumably MLB The Show 17, if my memory serves correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I forget if 17 is already out. If not 17, it will be 18. And I'm sure that we'll have a lot of Ben Bowden baseball cards and a whole bunch of other fun things and memories that will be to come. But this gives me a reason to get back into Major League Baseball, if only because when I was growing up watching baseball, I didn't really have much of an enjoyment after the 2013 World Series when the Red Sox would win in my first predicted victory. I actually want to give a little bit of backstory on that. Because when the Sox swept in 2004 and in 2007, I told one of my teachers at the time, Mr. Donadoni, really good guy. I told him that the next time that the Red Sox would win, and bear in mind, I said this in maybe 2008, maybe late 2007, that they would win in 2013. I said that they would not win another season until 2013. And oh, was I correct. I didn't expect I'd be right. But the fact that I was, that was just astounding. It was scary, but it was astounding nonetheless. It did indeed make me smile, and it kind of encouraged me to want to see what would come of the next seasons, and unfortunately not a lot really came out of it. So wishfully, with Ben's entering into the Major League Baseball, it gives me a reason to watch a team other than the Sox, the Yankees, or the Mets. I can actually root for the Rockies. I actually want to now see the Rockies go to the World Series. Sure, we might not get our free furniture from Jordan's, but hey, it still beats it still beats the Sox not winning this season in the event that they don't win. I can't say anything at this point. I don't know if they're going to go to the playoffs. I haven't a clue at this time. I haven't really been following them. But it gives me a reason to watch Ben on Fox. It gives me a reason to watch Ben on Nesson, Major League Baseball Sports Network, or whatever other sports networks hold Major League Baseball. So, good luck to you, Ben. I will definitely be following your progress more and more as the times go on. That is indeed a guarantee. In the matter of politics, we have a major scenario that will be going on later this month, going into July, and that is the national conventions for the Republican and Democratic parties in that order. The Republican Party National Convention, if my memory serves correctly, will begin on July 18, with the Democratic Convention happening on the 25th. Don't take my word for that. I would have to double check the schedules. But I know that the Democratic Convention's on the 25th. Not sure about the Republican Convention. But if my memory serves correctly, it will be a week before the Democrats take theirs. In the Democratic Convention, it will be a contested convention. Neither candidate has enough pledged delegates to be able to clinch the nomination, and in this case, Bernie Sanders, indeed, we know he has an uphill battle. We know that it will possibly be a major fight to have the superdelegates all vote on his end, or a good amount of them vote for him. It all comes down to how everything will turn out going into the next matter of weeks, and definitely going into next month. So some of you might be wondering, what does this mean for the Royans in the case of the Democratic and Republican National Conventions? I do intend on having a media panel cover the conventions. I will be covering the conventions myself, but I would like to have 9 other people within the team to join me. I don't want to do this alone. Now, I don't expect that we'll have a lot of coverage of the Republican convention on our end because the majority of Royans are Democrats, or they are independents that lean more to the left or the far left, or have mixed views but are still more liberal and progressive in nature as opposed to right-wing and far-right conservatism. Given that, I don't know exactly who I will be having for the Democratic National Convention, at least in terms of coverage. What I would like to have is 4 people covering the end on Hillary's side, 4 people covering the end on Bernie's side, and then 1 person that is down the middle. If you are wondering where I stand in the case of the Democratic nomination process, I do personally believe that Bernie will be able to pull through if everything goes according to plan. And I could also say at this point in time that I don't know exactly how California will turn out. It looks, however, as if he has turned over San Francisco and Oakland, which is indeed a major notable. So we will see these results going further into early July. Chances are Bernie possibly did win California, and if he did, which a lot of people do suspect, then that does change up a massive amount of things at the convention. The same thing also goes with the current Democratic Party, with the Democratic National Committee servers being hacked and all this information coming out regarding possible election fraud. I don't know what is going on their end. I cannot confirm nor deny anything. But if even groups such as Stanford University is believing that there is voter fraud, then who knows? Maybe some questions will be asked. Maybe a whole bunch of eyebrows are being raised. I know for a fact that there is something odd going on, but I will not try to interfere with this battle. I'll let it carry out, but we will see what happens. Either way, I will be focusing on the convention myself. I will be covering other articles. You can follow some of the articles that I look at on my official Facebook profile, facebook.com/Royameadow. It is my personal Facebook profile, so if you want to also interact with me, feel free. If you want to add me, feel free. Just please bear in mind of the 5,000 friend cap. Fortunately, I'm not even 1,500 of the way there, but still. Please play close attention. Okay, please pay close attention. And then that leads us into gaming. Now, gaming has had a massive impact on the course of this channel, at least on my end. You've seen me talk over games. You've seen me make games. You have seen me share speedruns. So I do have a few that I still need to get to. Mojo will be a commentary that I will be working on. It will be one of the first commentaries of Mojo to be available on YouTube. It is a lowly discussed game. Far as I'm aware, virtually no footage of the entire game is available. Not even World of Long Plays has it available at the time of this recording, if my memory serves correctly. I will be getting to that sometime later this month, possibly going into July and maybe August. Because of my bulk uploading method, I will probably upload the entire commentary of the new game mode right away. I'll probably upload 5 parts in one day and then the other 4 on another. We'll see what happens. Alongside that, I have already recorded Side Pocket 1 and 2, at least the Genesis version of Side Pocket 2, which is better known here in the States as Minnesota Fat's Pool Legend. I also intend on doing Side Pocket 2 Legend of the Hustler on the Japanese Saturn, as well as Voice Idol Collection. What is it? It's Voice Idol Collection. Dang, I forget the name. Please pardon me, I did not expect that I would have to do this. Voice Idol Collection Pool Bar Story. That is another pool title made by Data East, in which you basically can date a whole bunch of girls after you beat them in pool. Yeah, as ridiculous as that sounds, it is a game. Alongside that, I will also be doing commentaries of Carom Shot 1 and 2, wishfully after they get their English patch if they don't have one already. Or else I'll just have to play it in its original natural Japanese form. Afterwards, chances are I might do Side Pocket 3. But don't expect Carom Shot 1 and 2 anytime soon. Side Pocket 1 and 2 definitely, but not Voice Idol Collection Pool Bar Story, not Carom Shot 1 or 2, and definitely not Side Pocket 3, at least for the time being. Other commentaries will come as the time goes. Footage that was originally a part of Month of Disney 2 and Month of Sega 3 will be instead released as individual commentaries. They will no longer be a part of the schedule that I originally had for those. So that means that commentaries such as Dick Tracy and Legend of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, those of which were supposed to have Gabriel and Troy in them, will instead be done by me alone at this time. If other works are done in future time, we will see. I cannot confirm nor deny anything regarding who will be in each commentary at this point, but you can tell that a lot has indeed changed because of everything that has gone on in the past matter of years regarding productivity issues, as well as because of the fact that people were either in work that they didn't want to be in, or because they were in college. Alongside commentaries, I have a lot of game mods I've been working on. In recent time, I released Roya Rockwood's Sonic Mega Collection, exclusively available on SSRG, Sonic Stuff Research Group's forums, as we speak right now. I released that as a part of the time where March Madness was going on. It was released because of the fact that it was in a virtually complete state in Revision 0 form. It is indeed getting updated as we speak right now. Chances are you will see the revised version become available in October, with an international release in November as a part of Sonic Hacking Contest 14 Online, which Mark Gordon, also known as Hapasan or Sinisu, better calls it Sonic Hacking Contest 2016, but we all know it's Sonic Hacking Contest 14 Online. Embrace the Final Fantasy-esque title, dang it. Alongside that, on the 19th, Urban Action Royan Vacation 16 will have its sorry, got tongue-tied there. Urban Action Royan Vacation 16 will have its first demo release on the 19th, this upcoming Sunday. It is the first attempt, for me anyway, for me and a few other people in the team, to completely overhaul the graphics in the GameCube version of Sonic Adventure 2, better known as Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the console. What you will be expecting from that particular mod at this time, in the demo form you will have an 80% modded city escape. You will see a heavily modded Radical Highway. You will see certain bits and parts of Meteor Herd, Final Rush, Final Chase, and in some regards, you'll see maybe some slight graphical differences in Mad Space. I will be asking those in Sonic Retro and SSRG at the time of this recording, in the event that you would like to help out with the Urban Action project. I currently would like to see modifications for both of the car stages, because it's going to be a pain for me to have to deal with those. I will try to see if I can work on Pumpkin Hill and Skyrail. I will definitely try to do Pyramid Cave. I don't know if I can do Iron Gate. I don't know if I can do Lost Colony. I don't know if I can do Cannon's Core. And I'm totally unsure if I could modify a lot of the cutscene artwork perfectly. This is indeed an effort that is not easy for me to do alone, and it is better if I have the work divided up. So, I'm not demanding, I am not begging, I am simply asking for assistance. Wishfully, that can come in future time. MIAA Women's Hockey 2015 Volumes 2 to 5. MIAA Women's Hockey 2015 Volume 2 for the Tournament Edition, and Volumes 3 to 5. Okay, this is going to be something I still need to really figure out exactly what we're going to be doing, because I haven't a clue. I haven't a clue at this time. Now, as you folks know, I was supposed to have Volumes 3 and 4 already done by this point. I was supposed to have them done by the time that we were finished with, finished with August of 2015. The entirety of Volumes 1 to 5 was supposed to come out in 2015. But sadly, a whole bunch of matters in actual life happened. We sadly had a whole bunch of... we got hit hard in the month of August of 15, as you know. Because we lost Ashley Berman, we lost Amber Mace, we lost Ashley Frawley. Obviously, that cut my schedule back massively, and then I ended up having that 52-day or 58... Yeah, I think it was 52-day blackout season because of the fact that my internet connection with Clear went out. So, I don't know where Volumes 3 and 4 are going to go. I'm trying to finish up the Tournament Edition for Volume 2. I'm trying to make a more definitive version of Revision 0 for Volume 1's Tournament Edition. But at this point, I haven't a clue as to how the future of MIAA 2015 will go. All that I ask, though, is that please be patient. You will get this game soon enough. You will get this game soon enough. I don't know how long I'll have to wait. I already can tell that My Hockey Live has uploaded the 2015-16 season's rosters, but who knows if there will ever be an MIAA Women's Hockey 2016. There will be an MIAA Women's Hockey 2, but that might happen to be like a best of the 2015-19 series, or maybe best of the 2010X decade. I'll have to check in with Mass HS Hockey to see who has the best rosters and whatnot. I'll see. But what I do wholeheartedly appreciate throughout the history of this game, and bear in mind, this game dates as far back as 2013, with the concept being written down in 14, and then development being done in 15, and still even today. On the NHL94.com forum, at the time of this recording, MIAA Women's Hockey 2015, all volumes, because it's all in the same thread, has 1,374 views, and over 130 downloads. That goes across all volumes plus the bulk set combined, as well as beta builds and demos. What this means is that this is the most viewed, the most discussed, the most downloaded women's hockey game on the forum, to my knowledge. It also means that there is a demand for women's hockey in video games, and wishfully, once this title is complete, once I am finished with volumes 1 to 5, once I am finished with the 2-on-2 series, Hardcore and Personal, once I'm done with the 6-on-6 Blitz Tour, once I'm done with the Super 8 at TD Bank North Garden, once I start going on to JWHL, NCAA, and NWHL titles, what I wish that I would be able to say the next time that this game is in the spotlight in that regard is that EA Sports has finally gotten on the bandwagon to making women's hockey video games of all probable forms on modern consoles and older consoles alike, as well as PC. Wishfully that becomes a reality. I cannot confirm nor deny if that will happen. But wishfully, with my impact, EA Sports and other gaming companies that make sports titles will be able to say, hey, there is a demand for women's hockey, there's a demand for other women's sports. I would like for MIAA Women's Hockey 2015 to be the title that gets women's hockey and other women's sports on the same board as men's sports, and also given the same treatment, or better. We're already seeing that with FIFA World Cup. I would like to see that with the NWHL. I would like to see it with the WNBA. I would like to see women's baseball become a part of the norm for video game adaptations. You name it. You name it, I hope that it is fully present. Sure, yes, there might be some titles that have women's hockey right now. Or, I mean, not women's hockey, but other women's sports. But at this time, it is still rather unpopular. It is rather unpopular, and I would like to see that excel in demand, in performance, in quality, over the next matter of months and the next matter of years. So again, I don't know where MIAA 2015 is going. All that I can say right now is that it will indeed be completed, just not right now. Over time, though, yes. Wishfully, however, I can also get some assistance on it. I can't edit all these rosters by myself. Sure, yes, I did volumes 1 and 2 all by myself. But man, it is just too hectic, especially with all the other content I'm working on. Again, I've got a whole bunch of mods I'm working on the GameCube. I've got Roya Rockwood Sonic the Hedgehog, which is aimed for a 2017 release, which is simply just a minor art hack. You know, I've got my own videos, I got my own music and artwork to work on, and I'm even doing stuff for, you know, other affiliates and other friends and colleagues alike. I can't do all of this alone. And alongside that, I guess I can go to the final section, the final subsection, events for 2017. So it is unknown as to what will be going on in 2017, because I have a lot of stuff on the back burner. Let's see, I've got something with Brain Scratch that I still need to edit up. The Echo to Dolphin footage, because I recorded the Sega CD version, as well as the Japanese Mega Drive and the Master System releases. I'm currently still editing that up right now. I said I would have it done in 2 weeks, Ryan. I'm sorry. I'll definitely make sure to get to you guys on that. What I must also say is that there's also a potential chance that, who knows, I could potentially be running for office in 2017. Yeah, as ridiculous as it might sound, I would not be hesitant in running for office, whether it be here in Lynn, whether it be elsewhere in the state. But to be truthful, that is actually what I might as well bring up. There is a chance that, yes, I could be on the ballot in campaign 2017 here in Lynn. And I think I might as well close out with this. Because this is indeed something I do believe needs to be done if we want to have a city that not just increases in its quality, but also increases in its worth, in its praise, in its safety. Because in Lynn here, now obviously for a campaign, you want to skim your campaign down to 3 or 4 major goals. Even though I've got plentiful, I can knock it down to 4. So the way that I view it, what we suffer from here in Lynn is proper interaction with our people, issues with our schools, a declining infrastructure, and our security. First off, let me go on to proper interaction with the city's people. What has been going on here in Lynn is the fact of the matter that we unfortunately have a communication issue in the city where the majority of white people will assume that if you have a Hispanic surname, or if you live in a residence where there is a Hispanic surname on the mailbox, they will assume that you only speak Spanish and nothing more. You can go into City Hall right now, not speak a word of English, and they will not help you. That, I believe, is absurd. And any Hispanic and Afro-American that goes into City Hall right now will be slammed with horrible discrimination, and for all the wrong reasons. I do not believe that deserves to be the case, and that must be overhauled. We must have diversity in City Hall. We must have diversity in all of our major groups. This also goes for the schools as well, where it is predominantly white. Our school system has seen a lot of trouble since 2009, when Superintendent Dr. Catherine Latham ended up becoming a part of the school system. What had happened when she became a part of the school system, it stayed a bit peaceful for the first 2 years, the 2008-09 season and the 2009-10 season. In the 2011-12 season, what I had started to see was that we had more issues regarding students igniting fights, and ended up being broadcast online in some way, shape, or form, whether it was by means of uploads to YouTube or streams on a live streaming network, and it has only gotten worse over time. She and her administration have done nothing about it. At the same time, some of even my fellow members have been discriminated by the Latham administration for being Hispanic, for being Afro-American, regardless of what religion you are. Even if you are white, you might be discriminated here. If you are a homosexual, you will be discriminated here, unfortunately. If you are a woman, you will be discriminated here in the city of Lynn, in Lynn Public Schools. That is unacceptable. We do not deserve to have a superintendent whose administration and its vice principals alike insult Hispanics, blacks, gays, and anybody regardless of their religion, as well as women. That is unacceptable. That is violently unacceptable. What I also believe is that we do not deserve to have schools in this city where there is absolutely no heating, that students in an elementary school, mind you, elementary school, end up getting frostbite. They feel so frigid that they don't know if they're going to come out alive or not. That's not the kind of school system I want kids to grow up in here. And on top of that, 2012-13 season, late September, early October of 2012, Lynn Public Schools X drive was hacked. And it was hacked in a way I don't understand. Why was it hacked in the first place? My information, thousands of students and teachers' information was stolen and compromised. We don't know where that information went. This was all done during the Latham administration, and while it is still going on, none of this has ever been cleared up. It has only gotten worse and worse and worse, and there's no stop to it. There's no stop to it. It's like every single year we hear something's wrong with the Latham administration, and I believe that at this point we've met a breaking point. We've broken the breaking point, and nothing's getting done. Nothing's getting done. Nobody's at peace. Everybody is at war with each other. Alongside this, going into infrastructure, I'm taking a look at our roads. Our roads are crumbling. Our plumbing is crumbling. My electric supply, for example, there are some times it takes maybe like a few seconds for my sink light to come on. But what has been appearing to happen lately, and I'm not sure if this is on a part of General Electric or if it's National Grid or if even the city of Lynn is doing this deliberately, but what is happening is I'm seeing things such as my microwave, my vacuum, even my sink light not running at full power. Sometimes when it's not running at full power, the sink light takes 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes to go on. That, I do not believe, is acceptable either. We need to enhance our infrastructure here. We need to make more powerful grids. We also need to have a more competent Department of Public Works that will make sure that your driveway openings are entirely plowed, that the roads are salted and cleaned to the point where Superintendent Latham does not force your kids to have to go to school in violent conditions where you have 8 inches of snow and a vehicle could actually hit a kid without knowing that it was coming, or because of slippery conditions. We also need a DPW that will make sure to clean all of our streets on a bi-weekly basis. Having us clean our roads with street sweepers 4 times a year is not what I want. I want every street to be cleaned 4 times. No, not 4 times. More than 4 times. At least maybe 4 times a month at the very most. But at least bi-weekly. Maybe like 1st and 3rd Tuesday or 2nd and 4th Thursday. Something around that. Something more around Boston's setup. That is what I believe we need in this city. And I could keep going on, but that's just an example. Alongside that, we also have an issue regarding money. Lynn is in a violently bad deficit. About, $14 to $20 million last I checked? What I've also been hearing through reports is that at least $4 million has been siphoned out of the city budget over the past matter of years. We don't know if that dates back to the Chip Clancy era. I don't think it dates back to the Chip Clancy era, but I always have to make presumptions just in case. But what I will say, however, is that in the long run, because of the $4 million being siphoned out and possibly going to, I'll use Bernie Sanders' method, the top 0.1% of the city, the top 93 to 95 earners, I can't tell you where this money is going. All that I know is that we need this money in order to rebuild our schools, give us new resources, enhance our trade, rebuild our infrastructure, and also deliver decent, good-paying jobs. As well as this city is one of the first cities in the nation to end poverty among U.S. veterans. Let's be the first city to deliver actual sex education to all of our students. Because what we currently have in place in many states, and I think at least 22 to 28 states don't have sex education mandatory in their schools right now. But what we learn here in America in sex education is not what we learn in Europe, and it is not what we learn in Asia. I want to implement what they teach in Europe, particularly in places such as Norway and Denmark, into Lynn's schools so that our teen birth rate can go down, so that people are having reasonable and righteous sex rather than having to go about their lives in a way in which they didn't want to. It would also reduce our issues involving rape. It would also reduce the matters on, as I said, young pregnancy. And again, I cannot stress enough, while yes, I am very supportive of those that are mothers here in this city, we also have an issue with single motherhood in this city, where they cannot afford to mother their kid, and basically treat their kid to the good things in existence and in their personal life. I believe that is wrong. No mother must ever have to do 2, 3, 4 jobs in order to be able to take care of their kid alone. And so at the same time, we also must enhance the matters of pay equity. Because of the fact that women here are making 79 cents on a dollar, and it's less for minorities, mind you. Heck, I have a few Indian friends that are literally like a few doors down from me. They work at the corner store. Some of them only make $3 an hour. 70% less than the Massachusetts state minimum wage. That's unacceptable. Why would you work for $3 an hour in a place that is guaranteed to give you 10? I feel that we need to also implement stronger legislation to make it mandatory that each area you go to enforces that you are paid the state minimum wage regardless. Same thing also goes for the federal minimum wage. So in this case, let's raise the minimum wage in this city to $15 an hour. That way people such as my corner store friends don't live making peasant wages that they can't even live on. It depresses me that I have to talk about this stuff. Lastly, now some of you might actually remember in 2015 that we had some issues regarding there were bombing threats and shooting threats that happened in Lynn, at least both in classical and English. And as I've stated before, under the corrupt Latham administration, I had been wrongfully accused of matters regarding sexual harassment and bomb threats as well. What we have seen, however, is that there are real threats. There are real threats, not the falsified threats that I was wrongfully accused of, that have been going into our schools lately. There have been threats going into classical, into English, into plentiful elementary and junior high schools alike. And it has only gotten worse in the past 2 years, since 14 and 15. And also going into 16. I think this year we ended up having like 2 to 4 threats just in a few months alone. Maybe, there were 2 back-to-back, one at classical, one in English, and then a few more later on. It is clear to me that in this city, where our servers ended up getting hacked and my information and plentiful others ended up getting compromised in 2012, where we could have a whole bunch of threats in one school year at a whole bunch of schools, it is clear to me that the city of Lynn is not well protected enough to handle a threat of cybercrime. It is not fit or ready to handle issues regarding organized crime and corruption. It is not safe of a city that I could say it is ready to handle a matter of mass genocide. We need to have people that guard these places stronger than they have ever done before. And we need to do it now. If we do not do so, if we do not have an authoritarian force or an administrative force that will say there is something wrong with this city, we need to raise our guard and make sure that everybody's well protected, then I do believe that, yes, I might be here talking about another issue like what happened down in San Bernardino, or like what happened in Oregon, or what happened down at Pulse in Orlando. I don't want to have to talk about those kind of things. But unfortunately, in a time where, yes, this city has only gotten worse over time, something's got to change. And bear in mind, Judith Flanagan Kennedy has done an extremely astounding job running the city. Like her or hate her, I assure you, it has been rather good in her hands. At least during the time that she has been here. If she does run for a third term, I want it to be absolutely clear now so that it is not said later on. This campaign, in the event that I do run, will not be a campaign against the Kennedy. It will not be against the Kennedy era. It will be against everybody that works under her that has not done their job right. It's basically kind of like Bernie versus Hillary, actually, because Bernie is not running against Hillary Rodham. He is running against everybody that she stands for. That includes the big money interests, that includes Wall Street, that includes the 1%. It includes the big businesses and the CEOs, you name it. I'm not against the thought of having to run against Kennedy if she's seeking a third term. But what I will say again is that it would not be a campaign against her. It would be to prove to the city of Lynn's top runners that they cannot have it all. They cannot shame their students. They cannot discriminate their students. They cannot make them feel unprotected. They cannot steal our information. They cannot have us be just bombarded with a lot of wrong when all we do is the right thing. Would you say I'm kind of a neutral zone on the entire matter? Give or take the fact that this is actually the first major video that I've had to discuss this kind of stuff, maybe. But at least you understand where I stand. It does not make sense that we are one of the worst cities in the state on a financial scale. It is not right that we are a city where everybody feels as if they have to look over their shoulder just because they don't know who's watching them or if somebody will hurt them. Heck, I've even had to do that same thing as well every once in a while. If only because, I kind of do get a bit jumpy being around here from time to time. When I feel that something is up, something is wrong, and I don't know how to handle it. Nobody wants to feel unsafe. Nobody wants to feel poor. Nobody wants to feel as if everything is going wrong anymore. And for the most part, I feel that if we do improve our schools, if we do improve our infrastructure, our budget, our security, and virtually everything else, I truly do feel that we will have a better Lynn than we have seen in recent time. What is also an issue here in the city of Lynn is the matter of voter turnout. We have not had a major voter turnout here since Patrick J. McManus won his bid for mayor back in 1993. Back then, the voter turnout was over 26,000. Nowadays, you'll see a voter turnout of maybe 16,500. And what I am noticing is that it's mostly the white vote. You don't see a lot of the Hispanic vote. You don't see a lot of the Afro-American vote. You don't see Native Americans, Asian Americans, contrary to the fact that we have a good counselor here, Hong Net, good guy. Do recommend you become a follower of him. But it's clear to me that I feel that a lot of people have given up on the political process. And they just let whatever they want slide. As somebody who has seen and heard a lot of things, who has witnessed them with my very own eyes, and has been impacted by these factors firsthand for all the wrong reasons, I think it does make sense that I do make a stand, and hey, in the event that I do run, I will address these issues to every single person I can. I will have people knocking on doors, delivering the message that I have intended to deliver for a massively long time. In fact, the 15 people that you see in the opening splash screen for this video and plentiful others, those are my co-head administrators and my high notables alike. Those people will be my cabinet in the event I do run. That is a guarantee. So yes, Ashley, Gabriel, Chuck, Amanda, Doug, Carolyn, Luna, Kelsey, Shadia, Amber, Terry, Dan, Troy, and Kayla. Alongside me, Roya. We will all do this together. We will not do this divided up. That is a guarantee, and I will tell you right now, it will be a campaign for the decade, for the century, and for the future of Lynn. If I choose to run, who knows? Maybe I'll run, maybe I won't. But I've been discussing this since late 15. I've been discussing it since 13 and 14, actually. So who knows? Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. But either way, what I will appreciate is that people will understand what's truly going on in their city, and they will make a stand and actually say that there is a lot of trouble going on. We need to fix it. That's all I ask. Welcome to the modern existence. That is actually Royameadow Generation 4's actual slogan. Welcome to the modern existence is currently being used on Twitter, at least on my Twitter account. I do intend to have that be the official slogan for Generation 4. Generation 3's slogan, by the way, is our greatest memory be the one that we create all together. And that is still the one we are using now. And I might as well talk about Gen 4. Even though I said I was going to wrap up with Campaign 2017, I might as well end off with Gen 4. Gen 4 will probably begin as early as 2017, but not officially launch until January of 2020. So chances are this will be the first 10-year generation since Generation 1, if I decide to do it in the way I intend to. Whether or not that'll happen is well beyond me. I'll figure that out once we get to the end of the main portion of the Generation 3 lifespan. Because once we hit July 1 of 17, that is late Generation 3, that's the end of the trilogy. So, who knows? Who knows? Things will trail out from there, but we'll figure out everything once the time comes. At this point, however, I have gone on for enough time. So, what I'm about to do is I'm about to edit this up. I'm about to get back to work on Royan Vacation 16, get that out on Sunday, at least get the demo out on Sunday, and then get back to hard work, as well as assembling our media panel for the Democratic and Republican National Convention, and then it's on to October and November for the Sonic Hacking Contest 14 online, and Sega Homebrew Competition 2, where I'll showcase my own works. I'll get back to working on the commentary from Mojo. I'll get back to commentating on Side Pocket 1 and 2. And who knows, maybe in 2017 I'll run for mayor. But with that said, that concludes today's midterm report for Royameadow Generation 3. And I am very glad that you decided to watch. So, who knows? I'll be back. So, in the next episode, who knows what I'll be doing. Maybe it'll be Mojo. Maybe it'll be Side Pocket 1 and 2. But we'll see. We'll see. So, until then, folks, I'm Roya Rockwood. Have a good rest of Generation 3. How many days left is it? It's like, I'm going to say 30 months and... Let's say 30 months and 12 days. 30 months and 12 or 13 days. That's fine by me. That's fine by me. So again, that's the end of the midterm report. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.